Over the past 12 months, we've tried a lot of things and learned a lot of lessons about running a ski resort review business. But perhaps the craziest thing we decided to do was plan a massive ski trip to South America this past August and take a bunch of our followers with us. That's right, this was our first time skiing Chile and Argentina, and 5 of our awesome supporters were brave enough to sign along for the ride. So how do we manage to organize a trip to a bunch of ski resorts we've never visited? How'd it turn out? And will we ever do something like this again? Well, to spoil the answer to that last question, yes. And luckily, we got the whole experience on camera, and in this video, we'll show you exactly what happened. We started our trip in the great city of Santiago, Chile. First stop on the ski tour, Valle, Nevado. If you know anything about going up to Valle, Nevado, you have to do a ton of prep work before actually getting to the ski village. Groceries up there are next to none, so we packed up basically everything in Santiago. We literally packed our shuttle to the brim with all the food we could possibly bring. Then we had to get to the actual mountain, which involved a literal 8,000 foot elevation climb through a treacherous mountain pass, and we had to get to know each other in the process.
What's up, Oscar? Welcome to PeakHouse Chile.
Thanks for the warning.
Okay, so have you ever skied in South America before?
I have not skied in South America before. First time, long time subscriber, first time doing it.
What's up, man? How you
Hey,
feeling?
Good morning. Feeling excited. I'm feeling pumped. I could see the mountains right in front of me.
I heard it's going to be a little bit different.
Little did he know just how true everything he just said was about to ring.
Did everyone bring their bathing suits?
Oh no.
Oh.
It's okay.
I got some shorts for you in case you need.
Also,
Cheers, man.
one of us had our bags lost by the airline, but he was making the most of it.
No skis. Yo no tengo nada. No tengo socks. No skis. No shoes.
Interestingly enough,
No service.
fun fact, if you say soy listo, that means you're saying I'm smart.
Oh really?
And to tell you this was the most insane ski resort access road any of us had ever been on was an understatement. We knew things were gonna get crazy when we ran into our first stop-dead traffic jam only a third of the way up. Turned out this was a police checkpoint. They were stopping cars to make sure everyone going up was actually staying there. We got going at a more consistent speed after that, but it turned out the address for our Airbnb apparently didn't exist on Google Maps.
Te voy a estar en la dirección derecho a Valle Nevado.
And the address that we gave them doesn't compute.
Oh.
Soon, we were surrounded entirely by snow, and we passed by the first mountain town on the road, Valle. But we hadn't even gotten close to the craziest part of the access road by that point.
It just sounds wild, but I feel like Aspen is so not crowded and so hard to get to. If they made it more than 7 or even unlimited, I feel like it still wouldn't be crowded.
It was right about here that traffic stopped entirely for the second time. But this time around, it actually was because of the weather. The roads weren't going to be passable with normal tires past this point. It was time to start chaining up. Our shuttle driver did a lot of the work for us, but he still needed our help to finish the job.
How you feeling?
Good. I don't know if it's because I asked what the symptoms are that I'm saying still get a little headache now.
We are about 6,000 feet higher than we were an hour ago.
So if my watch is to be believed, we're on 8,600 right now.
All right. How you doing?
It was finally time to move. It was at this point we saw just how narrow this was as a two-way road. Before our trip, we'd learned that this access road is only one way on weekends in the peak direction, and it was pretty clear to see why. Oh, and of course we got stuck. But after that little hiccup, we were on the move again. For those of you wondering what that noise was, that's what it's like to drive with chains. And we soon realized what we were getting ourselves into.
That car just like totally buried.
So yeah, that was one heck of a road to make it to the condo. And it turned out the road conditions were just the first hiccup in our trip. Once we made it to the actual condo, we discovered that most of the power was out. Or I guess most of us had our phones, so it was okay. Luckily, there was a backup generator that gave us access to a singular light and outlet, but the bigger concern was our groceries. We had to think quickly to keep the perishables from going bad. This was where our balcony came in clutch. Hey, but while the power was out, we at least got our first taste of the views we were about to be soaking in all week. Also, despite the power issues, it was 1 p.m. and the resort was actually open. So, come on, what else was there to do? Alright y'all, booting up for the first time this summer. How y'all feeling about it?
Amazing.
Yeah, buddy.
You feel like you're at home in those pants?
Oh, they're a little bit tight, but yeah, you know, I'll make
Right.
it happen.
Show us that baklava. Let's see it.
If we get lost, we got a map.
Oh my god. Oh god. Alright, I should just quit right now. I should just quit. Got in the bag, Audie.
Well, I got my medikit. I got some water. Water's important. As you know, safe skiing is good skiing.
Alright, let's ski pretty aggressively.
Let's roll.
This is honestly like so surreal, just coming back from what was essentially the hottest summer I've ever had.
It was so bad in New York. New York City, I mean, it was brutal.
Hell of a thumb holds on your mid layer.
Oh, yeah, you gotta have them.
After being so sleep deprived from the flights, it took us a little while to figure out some pretty basic door physics. Or maybe, there we go.
Come on.
There we go, good job.
First turn of your summer.
Let's go! Woo! But not everyone had fun in the powder.
Dude, you were like 10 feet away from us and we could barely see you. You've been through a lot, man.
Yeah.
I fell 3 times. Twice the first thing, and just now in the...
Well, if skis you've never ridden before, so.
So after a near wet out first day, we headed back to the condo and got the opportunity to take advantage of Valle Nevado's great shuttle bus system.
Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Shut up.
You feeling the altitude?
Yeah, I'm more.
I gotta say, the powder here in Valle, Nevado is a different kind of powder from North America.
Yeah?
It's not the same North American powder.
But when we got back to the condo, we were in for a pleasant surprise. Guys, what just happened?
Electricity's back.
There is light. I'm waiting to see how long this stays on. I feel like this is a troll. They might turn it off in a minute.
The power indeed did stay on for us to cook a delicious meal. You're on the spot. What are you making, Audie?
Making some chicken, some red sauce pasta, and some white sauce pasta, and we're about
Alright.
to pull out the chicken.
Let's get that peek under the hood. Oh man. I don't know if you can get that on camera, but that crackling is just How would you rank your happiness with this chicken versus a typical chicken dish you would make?
10 out of 10.
I love that. After that hearty meal and a long day, it was time for bed. The next morning we woke up and it was still storming out. Oscar, can you tell me what you're making for breakfast?
So this is yogurt, protein powder, and we'll put some of that granola over there, on there, once I get this mixed in, but it might take a while.
Curtis, you're probably like, this is just another day.
Let's get out there right now.
Literally just as we were about to leave, the sun came out. Could not have been more perfect timing.
We'll make room.
Elevators are turning out to be fun.
We'll get to know each other a little better. Peak rankings August 24.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy. Y'all ready for this?
Born ready.
You could not make up what we were about to see. With the sun finally out and the cloud cover gone, the backdrop it revealed was totally insane.
Is that a car?
I put them aboard it, thinking I was going to hold it up. Now that's a thing to
That was great.
Unplowed roads, entirely buried cars, it was straight out of the scene of a movie. We got to the slopes and it was absolutely pristine. But actually entering the powder, that was actually a life-changing moment.
Holy moly. Oh my. Woo! Holy. Oh my God.
Good trip idea, my man.
Dude, of course, of course. I couldn't have even planned for this. Do you see that? Ow, ow, ow! Woo, woo, woo!
The rest of that day was absolutely incredible. You had to see the wake of that snow trail to believe
Oh
it.
my God.
Can you turn your head?
Woo!
It was the first day that one of our trip participants had ever ridden powder in his life, and we got to join him for that first amazing experience.
There you go. There you go. Woo! Woo! Pretty great, right?
He did pretty well, if I do say so myself.
Hey, what's up?
There you go.
So the rest of that day was plainly amazing, but all things come to an end, and it was time to head back to the lodge for Opry. Curtis, would you say this is the best inbound snow you've ever skied in?
Oh yeah.
What we eating tonight, boys?
Burgers.
And red potatoes.
Nice simple meal for anything but a nice simple day. After some much needed rest, we decided to switch it up for day 3.
Where are we going today, boys?
Colorado.
What are we doing for lunch?
Sammy's.
Alex, catch.
Sammy's by Sam.
Oh, I can't believe I caught that.
So for context, El Colorado is a fully separate ski resort in the same region as Valle, Nevado. But just like Alta and Snowbird or a bunch of resorts in Europe, you can actively ski between the two mountains. But before we actually made it to El Colorado, it was time to quickly be obligatory tourists.
Do you guys feel like tourists?
A little bit.
I mean, we're about to take a picture in front of this gondola, yeah.
And we had to make sure it all looked good too.
You should put like 3 on this though.
Just sit down. So to get to El Colorado, we're gonna take the quad and then we're gonna take a surface lift.
Yes. So I just happened to mention to the group that I've never done a T-bar or a button lift. So they seem to be pretty excited about it.
This was Oscar's first time taking a surface lift. It was going to be an interesting experience, to say the least.
We'll figure it out. So Oscar, can you tell me how you're feeling right now?
Very nervous.
We will be here to provide you all the moral support that we can.
And it's appreciated.
There you go. Woo! Nice! Oh, that was a good first try.
And for round 2, okay, this was round 3. Were we gonna see him do it?
Woo! Yes!
He finally made it. And I have to tell you, witnessing progression like that is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on a ski day. But while that was really amazing to watch, it's a lot to learn surface lifts on a snowboard in one day, and Oscar decided not to join us in the surface lift heavy El Colorado.
I mean, you're every time you've gotten on, you've substantially improved. So I think it's just a matter of trial and error.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us were off. After what might have been the steepest T-bar ride of each of our lives, the views did not disappoint.
I'm not gonna lie. When I get back to America, I'm never riding a T-bar in my life.
We came across an interesting sight at El Colorado, a barrage of foot tourists.
What do you do? Maybe you go to that lodge, then you go to the other lodge, take some photos.
Also, some of us were starting to feel the effects of the, let's call it, vintage uphill transportation.
It's 150-ish, I imagine.
So that was like a 20-minute lift ride?
And the best part about nobody being here, the untracked POW, which, believe it or not, was almost as good as the day before.
Whoa! Damn it.
Yeah, the base was still pretty thin here. So after a long day exploring El Colorado, in a surprisingly confusing journey back that was aided by a ski patroller who knew a little bit of English, we made our way back to Valle, Nevado, and by extension, our home base condo. Be careful with that knife.
Cut my hand open.
Also provided some carrots in case someone wants to dip it in some hummus.
There's a lot of stuff you would have enjoyed.
By day 4, we knew the drill. Some calisthenics, and then it was off.
Day 4, boys. Where are we going today?
Once again, this was a resort that was connected to Valle, Nevado with a different lift ticket. But La Parva might have had the best powder lines of the entire region.
Make some good turns.
Nice and steep off of this.
We started getting pretty adventurous. And in case you guys are wondering, it hadn't snowed since our first day, and this is still the same powder from the storm 3 days prior. This is how insanely empty the off-piste terrain is at these resorts.
I'd say this one has the best lift infrastructure as a tree so far.
After all that time riding surface lifts to get around, I think we all developed a newfound appreciation for sitting down on the way up the mountain, even if the ride was slow. Oh, and at La Parva, they take safety very seriously.
Oh, they're telling us we need to put the safety bar down.
All the lifts were indeed slow, and eventually it got to the point where we were literally counting the chair numbers.
Well, that was 198, wasn't it?
But we'd been out on the slopes pretty consistently, so we didn't need to ski hard the whole day.
Great trip.
On our final night in Valle, Nevado, we decided to check out the town.
It is 5:37 a.m.
Man, we're out late, boys.
It certainly was not a big party, but going out in Chile was a unique experience nonetheless. Finally, the last day up in Valle, Nevado arrived.
You guys, they gotta find a tree to pee behind at some point.
A tree to people.
I don't think there are any trees here.
Oh, it's above tree line. I'll find some. Where have you seen a tree here?
Yeah.
Private area.
But after a great week of skiing and riding, it was time to head back to Santiago. And, of course, they sent the wrong size van to pick us up, but we made it work. Do you guys have anything you want to say to everyone who is going to see this?
Here's your safe trip.
That's it?
It's a fantastic trip. Should not think twice if this becomes available again. PeakHouse 2025.
PeakHouse 2025. But was Valle, Nevado the end of our trip? Absolutely not. You can't fly all the way down to Chile without a few pit stops. First, it was a night spent over in Santiago. It's been an eventful last 24 hours.
Yeah, and I have to say, adapting and overcoming is part of the peak rankings way. I like it. I'm a fan.
So as Oscar alluded to, the Santiago part of the trip started somewhat chaotically. The original apartment we planned to book not only had fewer rooms than advertised, but it also had literal mold in the bathrooms. We did some last-minute accommodation shuffling and ended up in this pretty cool apartment instead. We took a few days to explore Santiago and soak in all it had to offer at the time of the year. I gotta tell you, the food scene there is absolutely amazing. If you like seafood, steak, wine, or any combination of the three, you're gonna have a fantastic time there. And our leftover groceries from Valle, Nevado didn't go to waste either. So we've decided to pair some steak and salad with some wine. And Adi, who has been a chef for the whole week, has graciously decided to give us a little bit of information on the varietal we're drinking, as well as what he did to the steak.
Well, the wine has cherry, cranberry, and notes of apple. And then we have rice and beans, in keeping with being in South America.
So we're trying to have a fine dining meal.
Serious meal.
And now we see this concoction come up. Can you explain to us what this is, Curtis?
That's rice, and that's the bean
Conglomerate.
sauce that Adi made. So.
All right. Now we need to see how it pairs with the wine. But we couldn't have too much fun in Santiago because our skiing adventures were far from over. Just kidding. So it is 5:38 in the morning, and we are up very early for a quite special reason. Where are we going, guys?
Portillo.
How you guys feeling about Portillo so far?
Poured it up.
Poured it up. What's up, guys? Enjoying the ride?
I'm excited to ride my first slingshot. Never done that before.
Hell yeah. It's your first time on the slingshot lift. What are you guys thinking about right now?
The pucker factor.
All right, short and sweet. All right, well, so far it has been smoother to load than the other surface lifts.
Let's see when it starts.
Whoa! Oh man! Whoa!
That was a ride.
Bye bye surface lift. Yeah, we could traverse over there and get some lake turns in. Holy frick.
So after our very memorable Portillo day, we had to say goodbye to most of the people on our trip. So final Portillo addendum night. We spent like 4 hours in the car getting back from the resort, so we just got the most South American comfort meal we could possibly think of. But Adi wanted to stay longer, and he had asked me to plan out a personal extension for him of some of the less traveled ski slopes of South America. So with the rest of the crew flying back to America, we started our more personalized journey with a road trip down south to a place called Nevados de Chillán. After visiting Valle, Nevado, and Portillo, it was pretty incredible to see a ski resort that attracted just so much more of a local clientele.
It's a lot of rolling hills. It's not like you're coming off.
Totally. Yeah, nothing like this exists in the Rockies.
Yeah.
Then you look up there and there's frickin' volcanoes.
I think it's fair to say that we both left for the airport gladder for having had the experience, although the gift shop was pretty terrible.
Tienda de Nevados de Chillán?
But we weren't going to the airport to head back to America. In fact, quite the contrary. I'd actually arranged flights for us to hop over to Argentina. Obviously, there was going to be skiing involved, but with a flight that arrived in Mendoza, which is famous for its food and wine, we had to see if the hype was all it was made out to be. And I have to say, even after just walking into random coffee shops, beer gardens, and steakhouses, I was blown away by the quality of everything served there, and I think it's safe to say that Adi was too. Oh, and we most definitely got the full tourist treatment. But once again, we couldn't have too much fun, because it was time for the final official mountain of the PeakHouse 2024 South America addendum, Las Leñas, Argentina. After taking it relatively easy at the other resorts, we finally found a mountain that actually had an opera vibe one could call lively. And by lively, we're talking actual free drinks. Yes, that's multiple, as well as some very interesting mascots. Adi and I parted ways, officially ending PeakHouse Chile 2024. Adi made his way back to the US to enjoy the rest of the summer. On the other hand, I headed on to a 19-hour bus ride to rank some more peaks in Patagonia. Reflecting back on PeakHouse 2024, a ton of things went wrong. There were power outages, bags getting lost, mold in one of our hotels, and visibility issues on the slopes. Also, it was a huge risk taking a bunch of strangers and putting them not just in a house together, but in an entirely new country where they didn't speak the language. But despite all of those extenuating circumstances, the sheer novelty of the trip meant a lifetime experience for everyone involved. I think it's fair to say that while the PeakHouse Utah trip showed how important community was in a ski trip, the Chile iteration showed us just how profound a carefully planned adventure travel trip can be. In that vein, we're excited to announce that we're doubling down on exotic trips for the PeakHouse program. We'll be headlining summer 2025 with our first ever PeakHouse New Zealand trip. And if you want to join us abroad next winter, we're excited to announce PeakHouse Japan for 2026. Hey, and maybe we'll even run a PeakHouse trip to India. Let us know if you're interested. Finally, our summer-oriented trips do not have to end with skiing and riding. We're excited to announce that our first ever PeakHouse hiking trips will be happening this summer, with a trip to Lake Louise in Banff National Park in early July, and another one to Jackson Hole and Teton National Park in September. Are we absolutely crazy? Maybe. But can we guarantee it will be a memorable time and perhaps the best trip of your life? 100%.
Is it PeakHouse or PeakHouse?
Great question, Alex. We'll be calling all trips PeakHouse going forward. Our audience has nearly doubled since we even went to Chile, and these trips will fill incredibly quickly, so let us know if you want to tag along for one of the most epic adventures you'll ever have in your life. Thanks for watching, and special thanks to our Peak patrons. See you for the next one.